This is our second lesson on perimeter and area. And in this lesson, we are going to introduce combination shapes and half circles. In the first example, we have a semicircle with a diameter of 12 millimeters. And what we want to calculate is the perimeter and area. So in order to find the area, I need the area of a circle, which is pi radius square. But I do not have a full circle, I have half a circle. So it's half times pi radius square. Our diameter is 12 millimeters. Therefore, the radius would be half of the diameter, which is 6 millimeters. So if I substitute, I would have a half times pi times the radius squared. And when I entered into the calculator, my answer would be 56.55 millimeters squared. Remember, with area, we square our units. Next, we are going to work out the circumference or the perimeter of the semicircle. And you would notice that the perimeter of this figure consists out of two parts. It's the circumference of the circle and the distance of the diameter. So if I want to measure the distance right around the figure, I need to find half the circumference of a circle and add a full diameter. And that is what we are doing here. So remember, the full circumference of a circle is 2 pi radius, but I only need half the circumference of a circle. And I'm adding the full diameter to get the distance around the figure. So when I enter the values into my calculator, my answer would be 30.85 millimeters. Notice it is not squared because we're measuring a distance and not an area. In our second example, we'll find the area of the shaded part, so the part colored in blue. If we look at the figure, we would have a rectangle and a semicircle, but we only want to find the area of the part colored in blue. So let us first find the full area of the rectangle. So a rectangle's area is length times breadth. The length is not 10 millimeters, but the length would be the full distance, the full diameter of the circle. So it will be 20 millimeters, and the breadth would be 15 millimeters. So 15 times 20 would be 300 millimeters squared. Next, I'm going to find the area of the half circle. So I have the radius as 10 millimeters and the area of a circle as pi times radius squared, but I only want half of the area. So it's half times pi times radius squared. And when I put it in the calculator, I find that this area of the half circle is 157.08 millimeters squared. Therefore, the area of the part colored in blue would be 300 millimeters squared minus 157.08 millimeters squared, which gives us 142.92 millimeters squared. In our final example for this lesson, we are going to find the perimeter of this diagram. So that's the distance around the figure and the full area of the figure. So let us see what we have. We have a square A, B, D, E. We know that this is a square because all sides are of equal length. Then we have a right-angled triangle with one of the sides equal to 4 centimeters and the diameter of the circle, which creates the hypotenuse of the triangle, equal to 5 centimeters. And then we have half a circle with a diameter of 5 centimeters. Before I can calculate the perimeter or the distance around the figure, I would need to find the length of BC. So in the triangle BCD, I have a length of 4 centimeters and I have a hypotenuse of 5 centimeters. Now I can use Pythagoras to find the length of BC. So BC squared would be equal to the hypotenuse squared minus the shortest side, or BD squared. So BC squared is equal to CD squared minus BD squared. So that would be 25 minus 16, which is equal to 9. And I'm using Pythagoras. Therefore, the length of BC would be 3 centimeters. Now that I have the length of BC, I can find half of the circumference of the circle. So remember, when we work with circumference, we can either use the diameter or the radius. And the radius of the circle would be half of 5, which is 2.5 centimeters. So half the circumference of a full circle would be half times 2 times pi times radius. And when I enter all these values into the calculator, I get that the distance from point C around the arc to D would be 7.85 centimeters. Now I have enough information to find the perimeter or the distance around the combined figure. And it will be AB plus BC plus the circumference plus ED, which is 4 centimeters, plus AE, which is also 4 centimeters. So when I write it down, I have 4 plus 3 plus 7.85 plus 4 plus 4. Therefore, the perimeter around the figure would be 22.85 centimeters. Next, we are going to find the total area of the figure. That will be the area of the square plus the area of a triangle plus the area of half a circle. The area of the square would be 4 times 4. The area of the triangle would be half base times height. Notice I'm not using the hypotenuse length of 5 centimeters. So it's half times 3, that's the length of BC, times 4, plus half the area of a circle, so it's half times pi times the radius squared. When I enter all these values on the calculator, I find that the total area of the combined sketch is 31.82 centimeters squared.